I've been full-time in business for about 5 years now. In our first year in business, we did 7 figures in revenue in about 7 months. Now, that sounds really sexy until you look at the P&L statements and realize our profit was almost at zero. Why? Because we spent almost $500,000 on paid ads. And so at the end of that year, I thought to myself, there has to just be a better way to play this game. And so that is when we started going all in on organic brand building and organic marketing, from Instagram to TikTok, and then in 2024, landing on the gold mine that is LinkedIn. Now, we've gone from zero to over 60,000 followers on the platform. We've made over $1 million on the platform. And what you're about to see right here is me having a conversation with other 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, answering their questions around organic, around brand building, around LinkedIn. So let's get into it.
All right, so I looked up my stats. So I have 9,987 followers and 1,200 people in my newsletter, but I'm still only getting like 77 impressions, and I don't really get that much love on my newsletter, even though I'm always having people sign up. So like next weekend, I'm doing a free workshop online. What would you say is best? Yes, I will still implement all of this, but in terms of like the newsletter, should I just kill it? Because it's really not getting any love in terms of commentary, but people do subscribe.
Yeah, so I'm not, this is a I statement, right? I'm not super bullish on LinkedIn newsletters.
Okay.
So I should maybe say I'm indifferent, neutral, right? I don't think it helps a ton. From what I've seen, I don't think it hurts a ton. Last year, it was very different. I would have said something very different. But what I would do for impressions is I would spend an hour a day commenting. So when you go and you find different people and you're commenting on their posts, law of reciprocity, they're gonna come back and start interacting and engaging with your posts. On LinkedIn, we need people to comment. It's like Facebook or Instagram back in the day, like we need the engagement. And a lot of people, the natural activity on LinkedIn is they don't engage. Like they don't comment. And so when I start commenting on other people's posts, generally they'll start at least liking my posts or commenting. So this is why I say spend an hour a day commenting, and then you'll start seeing those impressions start going up on your posts.
I'm Dr. Rashida Hall. I am a obesity medicine physician, owner of Hall Health, and I help women who are exhausted and overweight to get more confidence and energy through weight loss and wellness. So I myself have lost over 75 pounds, and I help a significant amount of people.
2 levels ago, ICP, yeah, congrats.
Thank you. I help a significant amount of people lose over 100 pounds. The most has been 200. And I see a lot, I don't get a lot of engagement online, but when I go live, I get patience. And so I'm trying to figure out how to optimize what I'm doing right in this oversaturated field.
So you're going live on LinkedIn?
No,
where are you going
on
live?
Facebook.
Okay, so, and you can ask me the question if I'm not answering it correctly, but what I always tell myself too is that I always analyze what's working. And my first processes or thought process is, this is working, going live is working. My next step is saying, how can I do more of this thing that's working? What's working, how can I do more? Then I say, how can I do more better? That might be lighting. That might be I have a VA engaging in the chat, right? And then I say, I can add on something new. So before I maybe start adding on something new or optimizing something, I say, how do I do more? How do I do more better? How do I make it more engaging, make it more fun, make it more automated, whatever better means, and then I can add on new, right? And so I would just start optimizing what's working and keep doing more of that, then do more better, then do new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Casey. I'm Lenitra King. I run an award-winning PR enterprise with a 100% success rate at establishing experts on TV, radio, or print press for recognition, revenue, and legacy.
Are you posting on LinkedIn?
Yes.
Is that your headline on LinkedIn?
Yes.
It's in your banner? So headlines, that's like the little subtext that's under your name. This is actually really important, and I love that you 100% success rate. Like if you have stats like that, make sure that is in your headline for anyone else. I'm glad it is in yours.
Thank you. My question was, so you said you spend an hour a week, and I know you pull from those buckets. What does that hour look like? Are you like voicing on AI? Like how does that hour look like for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I travel a lot, I'm moving around a lot, right? So I use an app called Whisperflow. And I'll talk to it. I'm a yapper, so I'll talk to it and it'll help me write out my posts. In terms of AI, I use AI as a thought partner. I am the thought leader, right? And so I think about AI, how I use it as a really educated intern. If I hired in a 19-year-old, like the smartest intern in the world, I wouldn't be like, hey, go write me a LinkedIn post. I would say, hey, my brother, I just watched the Indiana game and I saw a lot of leadership lessons in that. Here's what I saw. Can you help me formulate my thoughts together and challenge me a bit here? Right? I would treat it, that's how I treat AI as an intern. But tactically, I use an app called Whisperflow, and I talk everything out. And then if I am using AI, I'm using it as a sparring partner more than a thought leader.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Hey, Casey.
What's up?
What's going on?
It's a crazy crossover collab.
For sure. So, y'all, I'm Adrienne Simpson, CEO and founder of LinkedIn Pros, and I help leaders turn their expertise into thought leadership that helps them drive revenue. Friend, I absolutely do follow you on LinkedIn, and thank you for sharing your MEOT strategy here, which I've seen work. Obviously, you shared LinkedIn Lamar's.
So people are calling him that.
But you shared, screenshots of his backend and analytics, and so clearly it's working. My question for you is, for folks who don't have as established a brand, right? Maybe they are using some other platforms, but not as established as Lamar's on other spaces. What is the critical thing that they need to do in terms of transitioning, right, and showcasing on LinkedIn, but who may not have as strong a brand in other spaces?
What makes Lamar established, in your opinion?
I think that he has a strong presence. I think he's on several platforms. I think he talks about a lot of stuff consistently. I think that he shares valuable nuggets and information that people appreciate.
So I think all those things that you named, everybody in this room could do.
Yep.
Right? And so that would be my answer, right? I love Lamar, right? I don't think there's anything necessarily so unique about Lamar and the success that we're seeing on LinkedIn that everybody in this room could not do. You just said he's just sharing value. He's saying things over and over. We are all experts in whatever it is that we do. We are all experts in that, right? And so we just need to start sharing and giving that value,
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Hey, Casey.
Hey.
Brittany Cole. I am a leadership branding
A
expert.
LinkedIn legend.
I do a little something over there. I love all of your content. So in this room, I say I work with executives and entrepreneurs to leverage their leadership brand to close paid speaking deals and B2B corporate deals. However, that's 30% of my business. The other 70% is working directly with corporations. So if this was a room of corporate buyers, I would say Career Thrivers is a leadership and workforce development firm. We work with companies to get executive alignment, strategic planning, and talent retention through organizational change. That's 70% of my business. So my question for you is, what advice do you give the founder in the room like me who has technically 2 buyers on LinkedIn on how to still maintain focus in terms of the messaging, but I feel like I use LinkedIn for enterprise leads and not for speaking, and I really believe like this B2C space could double or triple what I'm doing in the B2B space if I made that pivot, but I also got this 70% bucket.
Yeah, I will try to make this answer helpful for everyone while also answering your question specifically. So first, what I would do and what we do your corporate clients, you're doing outbound to them, they're reaching out to you because they see your content, like how's that working?
Yeah, so primarily speaking is the lead gen and then my LinkedIn content.
Okay, so we just closed a deal with NYU. Right? So we're going out there, we're helping them with their PhD students. I do not talk about PhD students or NYU or corporations at all on my platform. But I realized when I talk to a specific ICP, this is strategic, right? There are some downstream impacts that will happen with just me talking to one ICP. So because I talk to one ICP, the decision makers at NYU or what have you are like, oh my gosh, it could be so helpful for our PhD students. I don't think, for me at least, that I could do that in the flip. If I was talking just to NYU decision makers or whatever, I don't think that B2C folks or different people would be like, oh my gosh, this is for me. But I do see it in the reverse. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
And so I just use I statements, right? But I think it's best to say which one could have the downstream impact and still bring me in the ICP that maybe pays the bills or that I like to do, and how do I just talk to that one person, right? Because I still know these corporate clients will still come in through this.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Boss
What's
lady.
up, KC? So my name's Karina Jones. I'm the owner and CEO of I Got You Seasonings. We're here in Atlanta, make the best seasonings and lemonades in the universe, over 40 gourmet flavors. But I also do a lot of content creation. As you know, I have about 200,000 followers over all my platforms. I do most of my stuff I do on Facebook and TikTok, and I have a weekly cooking show, right? And that's where I do a lot of live streams. So I do a lot of my sales. I get a lot of sales when I go live. And so I guess what I'm thinking, my question is that with LinkedIn, I guess I always thought it was more, for like corporate or, professionals. And I never really thought, I don't even have a LinkedIn, really. Well, I have a personal one, but, I don't really spend any time there at all. It's all, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty successful, with that. So what I'm wondering is with LinkedIn, can I sell my products there, you think? Can I do my cooking show there? Can I do live streams? Like, how do I get in on, is LinkedIn gonna be worth my time?
So first thing I would say is, right, before we start anything new, like I just told someone else, I would try to.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Y'all can follow me on Facebook, Boss Lady and Family. If y'all want to see my cooking show, Boss Lady and Family on Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forgot to say that.
If y'all want to see some really engaging lives, like it'd be hundreds of people just watching these lives. Like it's crazy, but she's so consistent with them, right? So first I would say, there's always opportunities, right? I'm not a bad enough marketer where I can be like, I do hope everybody go out here takes advantage of LinkedIn. But we all know every other day there's a new opportunity. And so as the CEO, as the founder, as the coach, I always have to be an assessment of like, what opportunity is worth my time, right? So maybe this isn't worth it right now. But again, how I go through this, my mental model is, again, what's working? How do I do more of it? Before I tap out, how do I do more? Then I go to how do I do it better? And then I go to how do I add on something new? And so LinkedIn, you might be at that point where it's like, let's add on LinkedIn. Yeah. And if you are there, to answer your question, your buyers are absolutely on LinkedIn. Just like you saw half of this room sit down, right? We all have, people ask me this all the time, are my buyers on TikTok? Are my buyers on Instagram? We all have 5 different platforms across the internet. Like we're all everywhere, your buyers are everywhere. And so you can take advantage of it, but I would first assess, does it make sense for me to add on something new right now, or should I do more of what's working right now?
Okay, so going live, doing the cooking show, all of that can be done on LinkedIn?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody to know that I'm here because of Casey. Casey actually invited me 2 years ago. Thanks, Casey.
Of course.
Hey, Casey,
What's
great
up?
job. I'm Michelle Blue. I lead an education consulting company supporting people and preparing for the future of work. So obviously LinkedIn is a platform I need to be prioritizing for 2026. I asked Adrienne this question earlier because I'm trying to decide, I come from content, having a talk show, but should I do a podcast or should I do LinkedIn Lives to kind of share this thought leadership and establish my business there? And if so, how do I optimize LinkedIn Lives?
What's the goal of the podcast that you're thinking about?
I would say establishing the authority and then connecting with decision makers.
So how I think about everything, right? I think different platforms fall into different things. I call it triple R. There's platforms or there's activities that I do solely for reach. There's platforms or activities that I do solely for building relationships. My whole thesis in that, I think I'll write a book about one day, is that if we master reach in relationships, we don't need any fancy revenue systems. If I can get in front of millions of people and then build relationships with millions of people, I don't need any fancy revenue systems. That's what I'm testing. But to answer this, right, if my podcast is more so for building relationships, is kind of what I'm hearing, nurturing my audience, right? LinkedIn Live, and this is just an opinion, I don't think is the best platform to do that on. LinkedIn is a really great platform, as we just went through, for awareness and getting that organic reach, right? LinkedIn Live has some hit or misses. What I would do though, is if I did go podcast, which is why I started making YouTube videos, not for the discoverability on YouTube, but to actually start nurturing my audience that I was building on LinkedIn to nurture them more, right? So I would put my podcast out, but I would share clips and start getting the awareness from LinkedIn and then drive people over to YouTube where they spend more time with you and consume more and start building a stronger bond and relationship with you. So I would think of them as different strategies, right? LinkedIn for my reach, and then this podcast to build relationships and nurture my audience.
Okay, I was just I didn't want to create a whole new audience, have a whole new marketing strategy to get people to listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe LinkedIn, it already has people there. Is that easier?
They definitely have the people there, right? But my mindset with it is like, how can I get enough awareness? How can I use LinkedIn to cast the net and then take my highest, like my likely buyers over to YouTube and then spend more time with me to watch the podcast, right?
Okay, thank you.
My name is Dr. Anitra Manning, and I am actually the Everyday Grief Coach. And in my work, I am leading in high-stakes workforce transitions advisory. And we focus on layoffs, leaves of absence, and promotions, and really help people to try to resolve their unresolved workplace trauma. So in the work that I am doing right now, I am really launching some courses and really trying to get out there with the name and the work that we're doing. One of the things I'm trying to pull away from your presentations around, what do I post that's really going to help people to know who I am? So I've been posting a lot about layoffs, what's been happening in the market.
Can I stop you right there?
Pardon?
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
The language, right, is what can I post to get people to know who I am?
Yes.
I'm only calling this out because other people will have this after we leave this room. Humans are selfish. We're thinking about ourselves. I want you to just simply rephrase that question because all the answers are gonna come out when we say it like this. What can I do to help people insert X? You said, what can I do to help people get to know me? If you go out to the market, and 90% of people are thinking like this, right? I'm not. But if we go out to the market and say, wait, here's my ICP, what can I do to help this person today?
Yes.
We're gonna come up with so many ideas. And so that's the first shift you just have to make. It has to go from I to them.
So that's what I'm currently doing is focusing on their story around layoffs, leaves of absence, and promotions. But I
Are you
heard you
giving them
talk
like
about
resources, data, lead magnets,
Yes.
podcasts? You should be watching this.
Yes.
Okay?
So what I heard you say something that caught my attention about you posting about your mother. And I'm the caregiver for my father. And so I'm thinking about, do I post about that part of my life? What are the things that I should be posting about so that people know, like, and trust me? That's just beyond, oh yeah, she used to be in corporate America. She's gotten beyond the unresolved corporate trauma that I might be in right now, which is their transformation they're seeking to make.
You know, I say this thing to a lot of folks, and I have to say it to myself sometimes. We have to earn the right for our audiences to give a crap about our personal lives.
Okay.
Why do we care about Tabitha Brown's husband and her kids and all this stuff? Because she showed up freaking every day making hot dog carrots and stuff like that. She was helping people, right? Then she didn't go viral because her and her husband were working out or whatever they're posting about now. That's not why she had that growth. She had that growth because she was thinking about how can I help people today? Every day she was doing the same format, just doing recipes. I don't know the last time she did a recipe. But she's earned the right for us to now just care about her life, her kids, the dog, all this stuff. So to stand out first, you just need to do more. Do more better of just giving resources. Earn that right. You know, people care about my mom here and there because I've given a lot of value.
I got it. So just keep doing what I've been doing.
You have to earn the right.
Okay, the transformation. Yes. And then I can pull them in and share a little bit more, but that's not the focus. Stick with what I've been doing.
It can be the focus if that's an association you want people to have of you.
Okay.
Right? If you strategically like, I want people to associate me and my dad and this caretaking thing, then embed that in, right? But again, just remember, I have to earn the right for people to give a care. I see a lot of people making vlogs and day in the lives and all this stuff. You have to earn the right for people to really care about that.
Okay.
People that don't know you. Right?
Thank you so much.
Of course. I hope this was helpful, y'all. Thank you, guys. Now, if you are a business owner, you are tired of being the best kept secret in your industry, and you're ready to grow your brand, gain more visibility, gain more impact and income, me and my team have put together all the secrets, all the playbooks, all the strategies that we are using to build my brand and to help our 7 and 8 figure clients. You'll find all those playbooks below. We give this stuff away completely for free. Why? Because I believe there's enough out there for us to all win. Now, if you are a business owner and you want some extra accountability and support, you will also see a wait list below to our brick by brick cohorts. We run these cohorts a few times a year and they completely sell out every time we do them. So if you join the wait list, you'll be the first to know. But with that, my friend, you have enough tools, you have enough resources to go get started. So please, just start posting. Just start going right now. With that, I'll see you in the next one.